Welcome to Divine Earth School, the place where high achievers and spiritual seekers come to embody, express, and explore their divinity, where I talk all things health, wellness, life, and spirituality. I don't know if it's still going. Okay. Health, life, and spirituality. So let's dive in. Hello, 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 Mosaic Souls. Hey, Mosaic Souls, this is Rachael Alexander, artist and Mosaic Soul mentor, aka spiritual life, health, and wellness coach. And today I wanted to talk about the power of discernment and why it's super important to really start to tap into that power that's innate within you for your own unique spiritual journey. So I was excited to talk about this. It came to me the other day, and I wanted to talk about discernment in regards to not only like your intuition, because discernment is really sort of an aspect of intuition, but just really understanding why it's important when you're embarking on your spiritual path or your own spiritual journey. And a lot of times, I remember as a young child or as a young woman sort of being told about the power of discernment from my mom, which was, I was actually raised Christian. I'm no longer Christian, but raised up in that faith, and she would always talk about the power of having discernment and tuning into your inner intuition and listening to your inner guidance, right? And the reason why I want to talk about this is because if you are new to the spiritual path and you're finding that, you're feeling confused, or you're trying to figure out what is the best way to start your spiritual journey or deepen your spiritual journey, or deepen your spiritual practice, and you are hearing all these different outside voices, with different, pathways, and even me, I'm one of the voices, but what will help you to really start or embark or deepen or whatever trajectory that you're finding yourself on, the right path for you is the power of discernment. And which is why you always hear me say, flow with what feels good and let go of what doesn't, right? Because that is me sort of signaling to you that even the things that I share, always flow with what feels good and let go of what doesn't. Take the things that resonate and let go of the rest, right? In any spiritual teaching or any teaching that you hear, always flow with what feels good and let go of what doesn't, or take what resonates and let go of the rest, is because whatever resonates for you is here specifically for your unique journey. Not every spiritual teaching or spiritual pathway is going to resonate for you, and that's intentional. And it also brings up the point that I wanted to kind of touch on, is where you're listening to many different spiritual teachers or different spiritual people of that nature, or counselors and stuff, share different ideas or things that might seem to contradict each other. And the reason why that is because there are infinite realities and infinite possibilities, and each of us are creating our own experience. We're each experiencing our own experience, and we're each here to have our own unique path and our own unique journey. So when you might hear something that contradicts one another, it doesn't mean that one person is right and one person is wrong. It begs to bring up the point that there is no right or wrong really on the spiritual path. It's about flowing with your unique pathway, and the way that you find your unique pathway is through discernment. Discerning, and discernment just simply means being able to tell the difference between what is right for you and what you should just discard, right? What you want to sort of embark on or embody or take on in your own personal journey, and what you want to leave behind, right? And so that's really the reason why it's super important, because it helps you to really tap into your unique path and really discover what is going to help you further your own spiritual journey, or even just in relationships. And discernment just is important in all aspects of life, right? Discerning what types of food is good for you and your body, listening to your body, listening to your spirit on that, listening to, if this relationship is going to be helpful or harmful. It's really that aspect of intuition that helps you to sort of decipher between whether something is for you or whether something is not for you, right? And that's really the power of discernment, and really determining whether or not, something is the direction you want to be moving towards, right? Not only in the spiritual path, but in all aspects of life, right? So that's really why I wanted to just kind of talk about that, is start tapping into that discernment. And one of the ways that you can start to tap into your discernment is starting to listen to that inner voice of what resonates, right? How do you experience your intuition, right? How do you experience, you know, what resonates for you? Is it, for me, I can just sort of give an example. When something resonates for me, it's like an expanded, excited, open feeling, right? It's this feeling of yes in my body. It's a visceral sense that I literally get in my chest of this sort of openness, this excitement, or even just curiosity, right? Where it's a no for me, when it's a no, like don't go down that path or don't explore that, it's sort of like a closed off feeling, or like a dead end feeling, like there's nothing going on, or it's like a sense of just contraction and not feeling of moving forward, right? So I just wanted to share those insights of, you know, why discernment is so powerful for you in determining your own unique journey, your own spiritual journey, and determining how to move about in your own spiritual pathway. And that is really by listening to your inner intuition and flowing with what feels good, and letting go of what doesn't, right? Because that helps you to discern what path is right for you, you know? And each pathway is valid in its own reality. And when I talk about valid, it means that it has a right to exist because it exists, right? So when you hear someone state their opinion or state their viewpoint or their, their interpretation of universal laws, because there are universal laws that are constant, but there's many different interpretations of these universal laws, right? So it's about understanding that each person has their right to have their own interpretation, but doesn't mean that it's going to resonate for you. So your job as a divine sovereign being is to take that interpretation and filter it through your own internal compass, your own internal voice of knowing what will or won't resonate for you in your pathway. So I hope this has been helpful to some of you in some way, form, or fashion. And as always, flow with what feels good and let go of what doesn't, because you are divine. You are a divine being, and your soul knows exactly what you've come to explore and experience while on this spiritual path. As always, vibrate higher. And if this resonated with you and you are looking to explore a more deeper spiritual path, check out the first link. I'll put that in the description box below, on the essentials to building your own solid spiritual practice and deepening your own spiritual journey. I hope this finds you well on this Soul Nugget Sunday, and that you are enjoying life and enjoying the abundance that nature and love and life have to give to you. And I will chat with you guys next time. Peace, love, and light.